Here's an extreme example of a problem with fractions where we literally have an equation where we have one fraction equal to another fraction. In this case, we can use what's called cross-multiplying. Let me just remind you that if you don't want to think of this as something different and special, you could do this by first multiplying by 7 on both sides, and then multiply by x plus 8 on both sides. In other words, if I multiply both sides by the denominators that are there in the two fractions, then just do it one step at a time, then after you do both of those steps, there will be no fractions left, and what you will have done is essentially cross-multiplying. But if we do employ the idea of cross-multiplying, we can think of it this way. So the 7 times the x is equal to the 8 times the x plus 8. Now I do have to be careful. It's 8 times x plus 8. Again, it's the whole numerator times the whole denominator, and if one of those has something more complicated in it, then we need to put parentheses around it to make sure that the operation is done to the entire thing. So after cross multiplication, or if you do both of those steps, you will end up with this equation. And so this one's not hard to solve. We do have to be careful that we distribute carefully, and then subtract 8x from both sides. I'll have minus x equals 64, and so therefore x equals negative 64. Don't forget that, especially when the number is a nice whole number, that you can check. So to check, I just put negative 64 back in the original equation where the x's were. So I can see that minus 64 over minus 64 plus 8. I've just taken this expression and changed the x's into minus 64. There are no x's over here, so I don't have to do anything over there. I can just see what this simplifies to. This is negative 64 over negative 56, and if you think about your multiples of 8, that is negative 8 times 8 on top, and negative 8 times 7 on the bottom. That's what makes negative 64 negative 56. And because I have a common multiplicative factor, I'm allowed to cancel out the negative 8's. And so I'll have 8/7, which is what it's supposed to be. So it does check out that negative 64 is, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. The smiley face kind of got a lazy eye there. Anyway, the